Hello MCO community, welcome to another update to talk about the Bitcoin chart. So Bitcoin has shown some promising price action yesterday. I made a video around the same time yesterday and we saw early signals that the Sunday dip here, where the price flushed briefly into the mid 94k region, could have formed a low in circle wave 2. I mean, I have to say, this is all not very convincing price action, okay? We are still, bear in mind, we are still in a range in which we've seen a lack of, a complete lack of follow-through of micro setups. And those were micro setups to the downside as well as to the upside. Ultimately, whenever the price is in the choppy range like that and we are seeing a lack of follow-through, then this ultimately reduces confidence in any setup. All right, so please bear in mind that this year, really, until we really get out of this messy range, all of this is pretty low confidence. We still need to be on the side of caution. But what we saw yesterday, or actually when looking at the dip on Sunday, we saw a potential bottoming structure form. I talked about that yesterday in depth. I don't need to do that again really in detail. It would be too repetitive, but if you watched yesterday's video, then you know that we were considering this could have been the low in circle wave 2 in our bullish scenario, which is the yellow scenario. I mentioned it also yesterday on X, so if you follow us there, then you were up to date as well, and you are up to date. Make sure that you follow us on X, formerly Twitter. There are additional updates, news, also news about our new main channel and so on. Mindset stuff can be found here. So check it out. What I highlighted yesterday here was that's like 14 hours ago. The recovery rally we have seen from the overnight low appears promising, but it's important to keep in mind that this comes after several weeks of choppy and uncertain sideways movement, which lowers the probability of any smaller time frame setup playing out cleanly. For the yellow count to be confirmed further, and this is still relevant, we need to see a clear 5-wave move towards the 99.2k region, because that's a key Fibonacci extension. And this is what you see right now. This was mentioned yesterday. We're waiting for one more 4-5 pattern. And then late in the day, I provided on Discord, but I believe also in the last video, a micro support area for the internal wave 4, which the price is now used to reverse to the upside overnight. So let's take a look at the live chart here. That micro support area was defined between $96,477 and $97,205. And indeed, we are currently working on potentially a 5th wave to the upside. Now, the problem I have with this structure is that the 3rd wave in yellow was a little bit weak. Okay, that's always a problem. It's never great if the 3rd wave is too weak, because it didn't reach the 138% extension. I'm still considering that this could be a 3rd wave, just a weak one. I mean, okay, it nearly reached the 138% extension, but there was the trend channel in the way, so maybe it just couldn't do it. It's not invalid. It's just a bit of a weak 3rd wave, and maybe on some exchange it did it. But here on the main index chart, I'm using that 138% extension isn't or wasn't reached. But anyway, it is a valid 3rd wave. We had a dip in a 4th wave. It turned around where it needed to in a 4th wave, found support, and now we could be working on that 5th wave. And there is a confluence of 2 Fibonacci levels around 99,220. And this is also why I said we need to get 5 waves to that level at least, maybe even higher. So the 78.6 retracement is important resistance. That's at 99,222. And normally we say a minimum target for a 5th wave, here talking about the yellow count, is the 161.8 Fib extension. I mean, this would be the minimum expectation. What we can do in this video is we can add also the next relevant level. Let's just imagine it might push a little bit higher. Then I don't want to leave you in the unknown. The next level above, which is an absolute common target for a 5th wave as well. It would even give us a bit more of a healthy 5th wave. That would be $99,630. So these are basically the parameters for today. At the moment, the micro support area I communicated yesterday, to which the price already reacted. Hold on, just I want to shift that slightly to the right here. It is still relevant, right? So between roughly 96,460 and 97,200, still relevant. The market could easily test it again. I have to say, though, this is already a healthy fourth wave, but it could easily do this before forming the fifth wave. So these are essentially the parameters relevant for today. Before the US trading session. So we've got the micro support area still relevant. I already read it out. And the blue Fibonacci target zone for a possible fifth wave. But please note that it should at least get to 99,220. Yeah. Then ultimately this bullish thesis that circle wave 2 could have bottomed already and we're now working on a 5-wave move needs to be put to a test in the next subsequent, well, in the subsequent pullback. In a first healthy pullback after a 5-wave move has been established. Basically what it means, these 5 waves, I mean, it's not a guarantee we go up further, right? And if you're wondering why I'm talking about 5 waves, well, from an Elliott Wave point of view, from a sentiment point of view, it's not only Elliott Wave, it's just a rule of market structure. I mean, we need a series of higher highs and higher lows to indicate the trend is up. And we can only get that with a 5-wave move. That's why we're watching for it. So if we get 5 waves up, that would be the yellow count, then this would be classed as a so-called wave 1, which would again be the wave, the first 5-wave move of the next larger 5-wave pattern. So this would be wave 1. It would be corrected by wave 2. So it's essentially what we had down here in small, right? And that's why I said this will need to be put to a test. Because if, yep, we have a first signal that the trend is up by having a 5-wave move up, if this is not confirmed in the subsequent pullback, what I want to, yeah, okay, in a wave 2, and it doesn't hold a higher low, this is ultimately the stress test for this thesis. Well, then the risk for further downside remains. We are now in an early confirmation stage that circle wave 2 has bottomed. We let the first 5 waves play out. The next pullback should tell us the truth. So that's going to be relevant for today. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. For those of you who don't know yet, we launched last week a new channel. It's our main channel from now on for the MCO communities. It's MCO Global. We talk about macro stuff there, geopolitical events. And today I will upload a video about altcoin season. Why I think it's delayed, would it actually happen? So all of these things I try to explore in the video. We'll talk about the DXY as well in that video, global liquidity. If you're interested in that, check it out. It's the MCO Global channel. You can subscribe to it for free. I'll link it in the description. But also we talk about other asset classes. Yesterday I made a video about the gold chart, long term. These videos are designed to be relevant long term, not just, 24 hours. So they're all relevant still. Coinbase. We talked about Trump's plan of a digital assets reserve. Talked about the S&P 500, MicroStrategy, or Strategy, how they're called now, the NASDAQ. So check it out. But yeah, there are going to be interviews, all sorts of stuff. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.